This gospel, this passion account, has a unique moment in it that none of the others do. This unidentified woman who meets Jesus at dinner before all of the events of this week begin. And she has brought with her this very costly perfume. And she breaks open the seal and pours it over his head in an act of love. That she wants to give something to this man. And we have no reason, we have no explanation why she does this. We have no idea who she is. We have no idea what the relationship or what encounter she has had with Jesus up until this point. All we have is this very small moment. And as Jesus tells those who begin complaining about her, well, what is she doing? Why is she disturbing us? Why is she approaching the Master? Why is she wasting that perfume? Could that money not have been given elsewhere? Jesus reminds them that it is love that motivates her, and to stop complaining about her expression of love. Each and every one of us have a different way of expressing love to another. And the way you might demonstrate your love may be different from the way I would demonstrate love, or the way your children demonstrate love, or the way your parents demonstrate love. And this woman today pours out this oil. It is poured out. And that phrase, being poured out, is repeated again when Jesus is at supper with his disciples. And he says, "This is the blood of the new covenant, which will be poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins." That Jesus will do like this woman and pour out generously something that is very precious, something that is beyond price. As we approach the altar today, as we enter into Holy Week, as we begin nearing the Easter mysteries, this really becomes a moment for us to ask, how do I pour out myself? Because it is in the act of pouring out that we demonstrate love, without counting the cost. Jesus does not count the cost and say, well, I suppose since there's a lot of people that I'm going to be saving, it's worth doing. Because Jesus would have done it if there was only one person to save. This woman didn't pay attention to how much that oil cost. She nevertheless broke open the seal and poured it out upon him in a sign of great love. Love and the sign of love is crazy. It really defies logic sometimes. It makes us do things that aren't always rational. And I'm talking about true love here. True love that says, yeah, I'll sacrifice myself for you. Yeah, I will spend myself for your good. Yes, I will do something without counting the cost and seeing how this is going to affect me. That's crazy. Normally, before we set out on an adventure, we make sure we have the resources. We make sure we have the money. We make sure we have the time. We make sure we have the energy. But with love, we dive in with 2 feet right into the deep end and say, here we go. Because I don't care what the cost is. I simply want to love. Jesus shows us how to love today. And this Holy Week will invite us to demonstrate to him how we love. And to not hold back, especially when we meet him in the guise of our brothers and sisters, when he is unrecognizable, when he looks nothing like himself, as I'm sure he did after he was beaten, and bruised and bloodied and stripped. He looked nothing like himself that the people had known. And yet, he poured himself out. You and I are called to do the same, to pour ourselves out without counting the cost. It is the hallmark of our faith. Love God and love one another. These are the two greatest commandments. And indeed, there is no greater love than to lay down your life for a friend.